welcome back to Where There's a Will, There's a Burnden Way for episode 12 with me, Will Jones. I hope everyone's had a good week and has enjoyed the guest content in the last few weeks with Phil Mason and Harry Campbell. I'll be looking to make having guests on a much more regular thing now, as I'm happy with the recording quality, and I feel as if it'll help to grow the channel no end too. And there will be an exclusive teaser announcement at the end of this week's episode on next week's guest, so only the most loyal listeners will know who that is a week in advance, so stay tuned for that. A quick shout out before we start to Tom Beresford, a friend of the show who hosts Fellow Bolton podcast Wanderers Weekly. I was meant to be recording with him this evening for his podcast, but has been struck down by the COVID vaccine side effects. So I'm hoping to be able to rearrange that with him for another time once he's feeling much better. On with what's been going on this week now, though. As ever, we'll start with Monday, which was actually a quiet one this week. It's more kind of a case of somewhat relevant news on that front, and that Salford City manager Richie Wellens was sacked after a poor run of performances in recent weeks. Not long at all in the job he's been there. They obviously were and still are chasing a playoff place, but have just been bang out of form at the minute, and I know we're playing them in a week or two's time. So obviously, with all due respect, I hope things don't pick up too quickly there under new manager Gary Bowyer. That's tongue in cheek, of course. I do wish him well, but just not too well when we meet once again very soon. Tuesday was a sad day, though, unfortunately, as we learnt the passing of Frank Worthington at the age of 72. He was a true club legend above all else, an iconic figure in football before my time, though he's still held in such high regard and will continue to be now. He'll always be fondly remembered by the footballing community generally, and of course all associated with Bolton Wanderers. Thoughts with his friends and family. Rest in peace, Frank Worthington. Also on Tuesday, in terms of somewhat relevant news elsewhere, with no Bolton midweek game once again, promotion rivals Forest Green slipped up at the hands of Mansfield. There was a ball draw there, whilst Tranmere, who were also up there of course, drew 2-2 with Colchester, coming from 2 behind there, so still more drop points, but it obviously just meant that Saturday's game against Forest Green just became a whole lot more important. Wednesday, once again, was a quiet one. There always seems to be a lull in midweek of Wanderers-related activity, doesn't there? But Thursday was quite the opposite, though, as it was the Trust Board live Q&A, hosted by Jack Dearden and Darryl Morris, which, of course, was an opportunity for all members and non-members to quiz the board on the role of the Trust, really, post-club crisis, and how we're working with the club to create a better future for our supporters. It was a well-attended event, despite some claiming otherwise, but it was one which I thoroughly enjoyed and was proud to represent the Trust, but also the younger generation of fans on that. So I'm hoping everyone was happy with what they heard and are clear with what we're about, really, and what our aims are going forward. As always, if not, you can obviously get in touch via the usual methods. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Friday, it was former Wanderers skipper and another club legend Kevin Davies' birthday. 44 he turned, so happy birthday to him. Obviously a belated one from myself and all at BWFC. Obviously the attention was kind of beginning to turn though to the following day's game at that point against Forest Green, with Sky covering the game. It was a very much calm before the storm kind of day that was. Saturday was then, of course, match day. Forest Green early kick-off. It was a massive game, which thanks to other results and subsequently teams dropping points around us, a win would mean we'd sneak into the automatic promotion places for all of about half an hour, admittedly, with other games following swiftly. But even so, swiftly after rather. But even so, it was to put us well in the running for an automatic promotion place, in weeks to come, and that we did. A brilliant volley from Owen Doyle was enough to secure us the 3 points and stretch the country's best unbeaten run to 13 games, and that all-important third place. I was a bit stuck for what to do then, actually, for the rest of my weekend, as I'm used to it all kind of just rolling into one. In the aftermath of the game, you then have a few drinks, and before you know it, it's the end of Saturday, you're hungover Sunday, and you're back to normality Monday. But I was a bit lost for what to do Saturday afternoon, really. I mean, what do most people do? Let me know. As soon as the season's over, I'll need some ideas because I'm seriously lacking. But to be fair, I was following the games elsewhere, are obviously around us, which proved fruitful actually, as further points were dropped elsewhere again, with Cheltenham losing to Morecambe and Tranmere drawing with Mansfield, who are really doing us a favour at the minute. Unfortunately, Cambridge did scrape a last-minute winner against Carlisle, but they do still have a game in hand. We do rather have a game in hand on the new league leaders, and they've by far the toughest opponents in the next 4 games coming up of all the top teams really. I think they face Morecambe, Tranmere, Exeter, and Newport all in the space of 3 weeks. So it's a really tough task on their hands, and I think just whilst all the other lot play each other, it's on us to just keep winning, doing our thing, and take advantage of how the fixtures fall, really. And if we beat Colchester on Good Friday, which is this Friday coming, and with Cambridge playing Morecambe and Tranmere playing Cheltenham, I think a win would be enough to retake 3rd place and stay there regardless of other results. Fingers crossed we can keep it up then, eh? Anyway, I think that's enough waffle from me for another week. As promised, I'll now exclusively reveal that next week's guest is none other than YouTube sensation Stuntpeg, or rather Neve. So you've got that to look forward to next weekend. Until then, though, you can follow me in all the usual places at WTAWTABW and WI1LJ. You can like, subscribe, comment, share on all the podcast platforms, and you can email me at WTAWTABW@gmail.com for all business inquiries. So thank you very much for tuning in to episode 12 of Where There's a Will, There's a Burnden Way, and I'll catch you next week for episode 13 with Stuntpeg. Bye now.